Welcome everybody to Vino Scholastico. I can see that there are still some participants joining our meeting this evening. So we're just gonna wait a couple more minutes and allow everybody to come into our chat here. So thank you everybody for joining us tonight. I am Cris Oviedo, I'll be your host. And like I said, just a couple more minutes to make sure that everybody is here, that we're all here ready to have a good night, celebrate your generosity, and try some delicious wines and beers and spirits. So just bear with us. Thank you everybody for participating on our first virtual Vino Scholastico. The number's still going strong. I can see more participants continuing to join. So we're just gonna bear with technology here a couple more minutes before we really get started on this celebration. I also want to welcome you to Dragon Digital Radio. This is our studio. I am on campus today. I'm very excited to be here. I had not been here in a little bit, so the special occasion called for a special location. And so this is our studio right here in Howard Community College for Dragon Digital Radio. So I believe we are ready to start. I see the numbers are stopping. I think we have everybody joined us. If you just came in, welcome to our first virtual Vino Scholastico. And thank you everybody for joining us for an exciting evening of fine wines, craft beers, spirits, and tasty demonstrations from local area restaurants. Before we begin, a special welcome from Kate Hetherington, Howard Community College President.
Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for your support of the first ever virtual Vino. Many students need our support now more than ever, and you can imagine because of the impact of the pandemic. I want to give special thanks to M&T Bank as the presenting sponsor, and I appreciate their continuing support. They have been true friends of the college. To date, this event has raised over $632,000, and this year, we hope to add an additional $85,000 from the virtual Vino proceeds. Now, this wouldn't have been possible without the leadership of our dear friend, Eric Stein, who created this event back in 2005. After many years chairing the committee, he has passed the glass to his co-chair, Mark Callahan, to continue his vision that has helped countless students achieve their educational goals. I want to thank the very special members of our Board of Trustees for participating tonight, and special thanks to all the faculty and staff who have purchased tickets. Friends of the community, thank you so much for your support. And of course, thank you to the members of the Foundation Board, especially Mark Callahan, for chairing the Vino Scholastico Committee this year. Thanks to the panelists for joining us tonight to share your expertise. We are so excited to see your presentations. So everyone, enjoy the evening and enjoy exploring your Vino kit. Now I would like to introduce our MC, Cris Oviedo, Program Director at Dragon Digital Radio. Thank you so much, everyone, for raising a glass and raising a scholarship.
Thank you, Kate. It's really an honor to be your MC tonight. And as HCC President Kate Hetherington just indicated, the monies from Vino Scholastico directly impact student success. And I'd like to share a powerful story from Antoinette Brodus and how scholarships made a difference in her life. After working more than 20 years as a nursing student, Antoinette Brodus was ready for the next step in her career. Little did she know that coronavirus pandemic COVID-19 was about to hit. impacting her both academically and personally. Her mother, who helped care for Brodus's two sons while she worked at an area nursing home and attended HEC classes, contracted COVID-19 in April. My mom was in the hospital for 2 months, she said. It took a toll on me. Initially, she tried to juggle caring for her young children, working, and studying. But she quickly realized managing all three was just not possible. She took leave from her job, then she turned to HEC for support. She received it through the Howard Community College Educational Foundation COVID-19 Response Helping Hands Fund. The fund, created after the campus switched to remote learning in March, helps students with food purchases since they could no longer access HEC's on-campus food pantry or participate in the food voucher program through the cafeteria. It also provided money for unforeseen daily living costs, like increased bills for additional data coverage, car repairs, and transportation. At the time, I couldn't even make it up to HEC to the food pantry, she said. So the money helped me put additional groceries in the house and just to keep afloat with no money coming in. Brodus also used the money for gas and to pay for data on her cell phone, which she used regularly to talk with hospital nurses caring for her mother. It was really appreciated, she said. With everything being shut down, I didn't know how I was going to survive. As her mother's illness continued, Brodus asked her HEC professors for guidance. They told me the best thing would be to take medical leave and then reapply to the nursing program, she said. And that's what I ended up doing. Brodus will return to HEC this fall to resume her nursing studies, and she plans to graduate by 2021. Her family's recent experience with COVID-19 made her determined to finish strong, she said. I want to be an ICU nurse on the front lines, just like the nurses who helped my mom, she said. The nurse I spoke to made sure to update me every day, every step with my mom. She was like my mom's angel watching over her when I couldn't be there. That is my goal, to be an angel for other families because I know what it meant to me. Truly, your support of this event will continue to help students pursue their educational goals. And as we get ready to move along with our event tonight, let's go over some housekeeping information to make this experience as great as possible for everybody. If you haven't done so yet, please bring your Vino kit and placemat and take out your items. In your kit, you should find 2 bottles of water, lemon, crackers, 3 cans of wine, 2 beers, 2 minis of peach vodka, peach liquor, and some sugar packets. Your placemat and myself will be your best friends and guides tonight. Please look through your placemat and identify what you need as we follow along. If you don't have your placemat handy, you can always access it online through our virtual Vino landing page. Tonight, we will enjoy different presentations from our featured speakers. You will have the opportunity to ask questions at any point throughout the event. Simply look for the Q&A icon at the bottom of your screen and type your question. Our experts are ready to answer all night, and some of the questions might even be selected to be answered live after our presentations have finished. Our expert panelists joining us tonight are Maria Bell from the Wine Bin, David Cobley from Santa Julia Winery, Megan Olsen from the Oyster, Walrus, and Ale House, Dave Sakura from the Tin Lizzy Wineworks. I do need to mention that there was one change in your kit, and you received a different liquor in your kit than the one that was originally listed on your placemat, but it promises to be just as peachy. Now, this is a social event, and we want everybody to be social tonight and have a great time. So please take pictures of the night, take selfies, take pictures as you prepare your drinks, make some videos, however comfortable and however little or however much you want to do, and share your experience through the different social media platforms that you have access to. we ask that you use the hashtags virtualvino2020 and support HCC. And I think that covers it all. And we're now ready to start our evening. We start our journey tonight with our featured wine presentation by David Cobley of Santa Julia Wines from the Zuccardi Winery in Argentina, or Argentina in English. And this presentation is brought to you by the Wine Bin and our Magnum sponsor, Colonial Electric Company.
Hello and welcome everyone to Vino Scholastico. David Cobley here with Santa Julia Winery from Argentina, from Mendoza. I'm the U.S. Brand Ambassador, National Sales Manager for the Zuccardi family. And I'm here to talk today about some incredible wines from our Bodega Santa Julia, from some incredible people. And I really think it's important to know who you're supporting, especially in these days and times, and especially for events like this where you're here to support people in their journey on education, and help provide for them and encourage them to continue their life's path and pursue their dreams. And the Zuccardi family with Santa Julia also is involved in a lot of programs like that, scholarship programs that the family has set up to encourage their venue workers or their vineyard workers to further their education, to complete their high school degrees, and then even to go on and maybe get a degree from college and leave the vineyard altogether. So incredible people you're here supporting today, and they do a great job with their wines, of course. Just to paint a picture for you, this is a picture of the family here of the second and third generation. The Zuccardi family vineyards were started in 1963 by Tito, is his nickname, Alberto Zuccardi. He was an engineer. He was always looking, trying to figure out how to improve things. So he had made some advancements on an existing irrigation system, because in Mendoza, we're in a desert climate, right? So water, irrigation for all kinds of farming and agriculture is very, very important. And one of his friends encouraged him to buy a small vineyard plot to showcase how this irrigation system works. And one thing led to the next. He fell in love with growing grapes and making wine and became very successful at investing in his money into buying more vineyards and exploring with new grape varietals and new ways of farming. And of course, he passed on all of that passion to his son, Jose Zuccardi, which is pictured there in the middle. And here he sits with his daughter to his right. And that is Julia, who he named the bodega, the winery, after. To his left is Julia. To his right is Miguel. Miguel makes olive oil for the family. That was a new enterprise that he introduced. And then to Julia's left is Sebastian Zuccardi, who also makes wine. He oversees all the winemaking for both of our wineries, Zuccardi Valle de Uco and for Bodega Santa Julia. So we have two wineries in the family. But of course, today's focus is on Santa Julia. And at Santa Julia, we have a big focus on organic farming. So two of the wines we're going to taste today are from our organic vineyards. We're actually the #1 producer of organic wines in Argentina. We have more vineyards certified organic than any other producer in Argentina. And that's going back to 2001 is when we started the certification process. It's a long process and a lot of dedication of time and expense to farming organically to get them certified organic. And not only does it produce higher quality grapes and better tasting, more clean wines, but it's better for the environment. It's better for biodiversity. The more natural habitat you have surrounding your vineyards, the more complexity you'll have in the wines, and a more diverse microclimate you'll have within the vineyards. So here I showed you a picture. This is a little picture of our compost piles within the vineyards there. We produce about 10 tons of compost per year. That's a lot of compost and a lot of beautiful, healthy dirt and beautiful, healthy worms. And again, we're located in Mendoza, Argentina, which is down in the, and Mendoza is in the center part of Argentina. It's a little map of the Mendoza region. We farm in a number of different areas, one called Maipú, it's a different sub-region of Mendoza. We have Santa Rosa, to the east of Mendoza, and in the Uco Valley, where our Reserva wines come from in Santa Julia. So we make a number of different wines, but again, a lot of the focus is on sustainability, not only just in the vineyards, but for our vineyard workers. As I said, they set up scholarships for the vineyard workers. They've set up sewing workshops. So some of the women who are married to the men who work in the vineyards, they're not just home taking care of their kids. They actually have learned a new skill, a new trade in how to sew, and they can work for other companies using that skill that they've learned. And they also work for the Zuccardi family as well. So now they contribute to their family, they can contribute to society. And then of course, the missing piece was for the children. So the family has created preschools and kindergartens where we work with the local government to provide education for the kids from age 4 or 5 all the way up to age 12, provided all by the family. So again, very important to the family education. Also why it makes it, for me, such an honor to be here to represent the great family and help contribute to this great cause that you're all here for now. Now let's get to the fun part, the wines, of course. We have 3 wines all today that come in cans. And let me point out that these wines are also available in bottles. So you can see the proof here. This is the Santa Julia Organica Malbec. The same grapes that the rosé we're going to taste today come from. So cans are an interesting vessel for wine. You know, a few years ago, I would have never thought I'd be drinking or talking about wines in cans, but it turns out they're a great vessel. These happen to be 375 milliliters, so they're a half bottle of wine. Great for taking on the boat, on the beach, hiking, rafting, or, you know, on a picnic, or maybe to concerts, outdoor events when we can start to do more of those things again. And the juice you'll see inside of these cans tastes just as beautiful as they do outside, out of the bottle. So we're starting out with the Organica Chardonnay. It comes from our vineyards in the area of Maipú and Santa Rosa. I love how clean the Chardonnay is, how bright it is. It's not a big, creamy, buttery, oaky style of Chardonnay. It's a very refreshing style of Chardonnay. I love the fruit I get here is a little bit of yellow apple, a little green apple, and pear that you typically get from Chardonnay. But this also leans into more of a tropical fruit spectrum. So I get a little bit of like underripe pineapple, some star fruit, I get, and a little bit of kiwi. And of course, this is an unoaked wine, as I mentioned. So it's very, very refreshing, very light on the palate, a little bit of creaminess, but very, very delicious. Type of Chardonnay that's perfect for this warm weather we're having where I am right now. A great, afternoon, lunchtime white wine, refreshing, nice acidity, bright and elegant, beautiful, and very, very easy drinking. I hope you enjoy it. For me, it's a Chardonnay that my wife isn't a huge fan of Chardonnay, but it's a wine I like to sneak to her from every now and again just to kind of surprise her with, like, here's a white wine, drink it. And she drinks it and she's like, oh, that's good. And I'm like, yeah, and it's Chardonnay. So try that out with your friends who say they don't like Chardonnay. This is a style of Chardonnay that I think could change people's minds. Next, we're going to do the Santa Julia Organica Malbec Rosé. Of course, made entirely 100% from the Malbec grape. And these are from our vineyards also in Santa Rosa and in Maipú. Just because I'm pouring this into a glass doesn't mean you have to at home. So when you're drinking these, don't ever be ashamed to just drink these straight out of the can, like so. Imagine this, if you're a golfer and on the golf course, you often say men sometimes can be a little bit finicky about drinking wine in front of their buddies, right? So with these cans, you can also put them in a koozie just like you would your beer, and your beer drinking buddies would never be the wiser or know any different. You can enjoy your rosé on the golf course with your buddies. Love this rosé, made from beautiful organic Malbec grapes. Has beautiful red fruit, a little bit of blueberry fruit, some raspberry. It's a little bit herbaceous, like thyme and rosemary. And again, it's got a little bit of fizz to it. It's bright and refreshing, easy to drink. Again, lovely for this hot summertime weather we're having. But I also love to drink rosé all year long. I hope you enjoy that too. And the last wine we have is called Tintillo. This is a red wine from Santa Julia. This is some of the juice, some of the fruit from here comes from our organic vineyards, but not all the fruit here is certified organic. So this is not labeled organic, but a lot of other interesting things going on with this wine. So it is a 50% blend of Malbec and Bonarda. Now, Bonarda, you'll see that listed below the Malbec there. Bonarda is the second most widely planted and grown red varietal in Argentina, but not nearly as well known as Malbec is. It's oftentimes been used as a blending grape. The Zuccardi family and at Santa Julia, we focus a lot on actually growing Bonarda and making wine with 100% Bonarda, because it can be a really beautiful grape. It adds a lot of fruity characteristics to this Malbec. This is a red wine that's intended to be chilled. So that's a new trend that we're seeing, one that I really like. Again, because for summertime, it's nice to have a red wine. A lot of us really prefer red wine to white wine. So it's nice to have a red wine that's made with the purpose of being chilled down in the refrigerator, just like you do your white wines, and drunk cold. Has a lot of nice fruit to it from the Bonarda, a little bit of structure from the Malbec, but nice fruit there as well. Good blend of red and blackberry fruit and red raspberry fruit. It's made with no oak and a little bit of some carbonic maceration. If you don't know what that is, it's where you allow the grapes to actually start to ferment without crushing the grapes. They start to ferment if they're allowed to settle inside of the grape skin, and that allows us, that makes for this beautiful, poppy, bright, kind of bubble gummy texture and experience when you drink this wine. Really, really great. You know, this wine's great for your backyard barbecue. Also, the vessel lends itself well to a backyard barbecue. While you're manning that grill or womaning that grill, you're working that grill and you're cooking and it's hot outside. This wine is great for drinking if you just really prefer red wine while you're grilling those steaks or the burgers or the sausages or the fish or whatever. And also because of its fruity palate, it lends itself well to a lot of different kinds of food, but especially what we're cooking in the backyard barbecues: burgers, hot dogs, sausages, steaks, roasted chicken, grilled salmon, all of that kind of stuff. So that's the Santa Julia Tintillo Red. It even says on the can, "Bébase frío," which means drink it cold. So get some of these cans. Thank you for your support. I hope you enjoy the wines, and thank you for being here for this great cause and this great fundraiser. Look forward to seeing you all in person one day, hopefully. If not, I hope you've enjoyed this great experience that the team there has put together. I think it's a great way for us all to connect and continue to enjoy the things that we all love and support people and causes that we really care about. So thank you for being here. Cheers. Thanks for supporting Santa Julia.
Thank you, Dave. That was really enjoyable. Thank you for all of the sneaky tips there on how to, still be cool and enjoy your wine in a can. And I'm actually going to allow you to answer some of the questions now live for everybody who's participating tonight. So welcome.
Great. Yeah, thank you. Thanks again for having me. And it's a pleasure to be here with you guys. There's a couple of good questions I saw. One in particular, where is the wine sold locally? And someone else also asked, can you find the wines at Wine Bin? Yes, you can. Go to Wine Bin, talk to my girl Maria, and she'll help you find all the Santa Julia and all the Zuccardi wines you could ever dream of. So yes, I hope you enjoyed them. I think they're really fun. They're not complex or stuffy or anything like that. They're just meant to be open and enjoyed and be fun. Enjoy with your friends. Ben, I'm not actually in Argentina or Maryland. I'm in North Carolina here in the mountains. So I actually live on the coast, but my wife and I came to the mountains for a few days to enjoy a little bit fresher weather until, of course, this hurricane comes through tomorrow. So, great question, Jane Paget. How long can the wine sit in the can, months or years? What they'll say is it would be about 12 months. I typically wouldn't hold on to these cans longer than 10 months, but they do actually have a pretty good shelf life. To Catherine Jones, you were shocked by how good wine in a can was. I agree. When I got in this business, when I fell in love with wine many years ago, I never thought in my life that I would be sitting here talking about wines in a can or even drinking wine out of a can. And it turns out it's great. You know, it's just a different vessel. That's all. So good questions.
Thank you, everybody, for your questions. Continue to send them throughout the event. You don't have to wait until our panelists come live. You can send them as you're watching and enjoying your wines or your drinks for the rest of the evening. And they will be answering live on the chat, or like I said, some of them will even be answered live. So thank you, Dave, for being here with us tonight. Thank you for showing us a new way of enjoying our wines, telling us, you know, how versatile it really is. I mean, really, we were stuck, I think, with the wine glasses. You know, if you had to almost have like a fancy dinner to enjoy the wine, well, now you know that you can take it with you wherever you go. So thanks for all
Gracias,
that.
Chris.
Gracias a ti. And our next guests include Tim Banks and Robin Jean Baptist from Howard Community College's culinary program.
Hi, I'm Tim Banks from the Center for Hospitality and Culinary Studies at Howard Community College. And I'm with Robin Jean Baptiste, one of our students, and he participated in the 2019 Vino Scholastico event that we had on campus. Robin, hi.
Hi, Chef Banks.
So tell me about your experience with Vino Scholastico.
I thought it was a great pleasure just being able to see all the different vendors around Howard County come out and support the school for a fundraiser, and then just being able to network with some of them and also try delicious food and offer the guests who attended some of the product that we made as students.
Great. So it's always good to get out and get that networking piece in with the community. What did you do to prepare for the event? How much work went into it?
We had like maybe a 10-page packet of different recipes, just planning for about maybe 10 days or maybe about a week, just to do all of the preparation. That way we made sure we had all of the ingredients in the kitchen and just making sure we had a game plan of what was going to be made prior to the event.
So tell me a little bit about your experience so far at Howard Community College in the hospitality and culinary classes you've been taking.
So I came to the school in 2015, but then I stopped because I didn't know what I wanted to do. But then I came back in fall of 2018, and that's when the construction for the new kitchen and the restaurant were being done. And honestly, I think I came at the perfect time because I was able to meet great chefs such as yourself, and then also just network with other students and just be in a great environment where I was better mentally prepared and just ready to learn and do well.
What's one of your absolute favorite moments that you've experienced since you've been with the program?
Working in the a la carte class, where we're able to serve food that we've made and we're being taught the different techniques and serve that to the different staff around campus.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time out this morning.
Thank you.
Overall, it's been a great experience having the opportunity for students to participate in Vino Scholastico. It's an annual event. We look forward to it. The students are excited about it, and it's always one of the anticipated moments because it creates so much energy on campus. So Vino Scholastico, we're looking forward to a future with you guys and continued success.
Thank you, Tim and Robin. We look forward to seeing HEC culinary students and trying their delicious dishes and their amazing display of desserts at the next Vino. Robin is also helping other students learn cooking skills through the Fueling Dragons program. And tonight, we are very excited to release for the first time Robin's video on how to make your own veggie tortilla pizza.
Hi, so today we'll be making tortilla pizza with veggies. But first, we're gonna shuck some corn. Now, when it comes to shucking corn, you wanna peel all of the skin off. So you don't need any of that in your pizza. Now, if you're in an area or it's a time of year where you can't find fresh corn, canned corn is fine just for this recipe. Take that off. And we will discard of all of this. Now, you have your corn. You want to place it on your cutting board and get rid of any of the fibers here. You want to take your chef knife. You want to place the corn right in the middle and have your hand firmly at the top. Just holding it on the side. And you want to hold the chef knife like this, pinching it. And you can just go ahead and gently go down. And then you're just going to go around, gently cutting it until you get all the kernels off. And it may get everywhere, but that's fine. And now that you've shucked your corn, you have all the corn you need for your pizza. And we'll move on. So now that we've shucked our corn, we're going to make our tortilla pizza with veggies. And then we've lined it with parchment paper on the tray before it goes in the oven. Now this helps to make sure that the pizza doesn't stick when it's ready. But if you don't have parchment paper, you can use non-stick spray and that'll do the same job for you. So first, we're going to take our tomato paste and add diced tomatoes in there. And then you just want to stir until it forms a thick consistency with the tomato and paste. Now this will be the base of our pizza, so you want to make sure everything is well combined. And once you have that thick paste all together, you want to add your red pepper flakes and some oregano. And if you can't find fresh oregano, you can also use dried. Now, once all of that has been incorporated together, you can move on to your tortilla. And we're using flour tortillas. You can just put some on your pizza. And then just spread it all around. And just like any pizza, you can spread it, but leave some space around. That will be your crust. Now, we're gonna sprinkle some corn on here. Some sauteed spinach. And make sure that you distribute all of it evenly, that way it cooks evenly. Add your shredded mozzarella cheese. And if you're a big cheese fan like I am, you can use the whole thing. And then we have some zucchini and squash you can add. And there you go, we have our veggie pizza, and we're gonna place this in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes. We have a pizza already ready for us in the oven, so we're going to take that out. And then you wanna cut your pizza into triangles. So we're going to cut it into 4 pieces with our pizza cutter. Put that to the side. We'll take our plate and put it on the plate like so. And there you go. We have a tortilla pizza with veggies, quick and easy to make.
Thank you, Robin. That was wonderful. I personally love veggie pizza, and it's nice to know that I can make it at home, and I can even make it like a family project. My kids will definitely enjoy making something like that at home. I also like that you added the extra cheese on there. I'm a cheesy person myself. If anybody has any questions, we're going to let any of our panelists take that. Or if anybody would like to come in right now from our panelists and just maybe, I don't know, maybe let's see, Maria, what's the favorite, what's a good wine to go with pizza?
So for me, I like to go with wines that tend to be a little bit lighter, higher in acid. So because the tomato sauce tends to have, just tomatoes in general tend to be higher in acid, I want a red wine that's going to reflect that high acid. So I usually go for something like a Spanish Garnacha or a nice, okay, David, a Santa Julia Malbec. The organic Malbec, great price point, and it's easy to drink. So really, pizza is fun and easy to eat, so you want something that's light and easy to drink to go with that. Nothing super heavy unless you're dealing with a pizza that's got like a lot of like rich meaty toppings. So you're talking about the meat lovers with the pizza, I'm sorry, not the pizza, the pepperoni, the sausage, the ground beef, so on and so forth.
Thank you. Megan, how about you? Do you have any suggestions on great drinks that might go with pizza when we're, I don't know, maybe we're trying to stay healthy, maybe something like that?
Ooh, let's see. I'm a pizza lover, but I like a lot of cheese. So then to balance out that fat, I usually like something that's a little acidic. So I'm always a big like Sauvignon Blanc person in the summertime. So nice, thin, crispy pie with some Sauvy B is usually how I get by in the summertime.
Great, thank you. It's good to hear from you, ladies. And we're going to continue with our event, and the craft beer segment is brought to you by our 2500 level Pilsener sponsors who are listed on the back of your placemat. Thank you to all of our Pilsener sponsors. And now a presentation by Brett Robinson of the Silver Branch Brewing Company.
Hey there, my name is Brett Robinson. I'm one of the co-founders here at Silver Branch Brewing Company. We are located right in the heart of downtown Silver Spring, just adjacent to the Red Line Metro. On behalf of everybody here at Silver Branch, we are honored to participate in this year's virtual Vino Scholastico. We have some really fun beers for you to try along with us, namely Glass Castle, which is our flagship Pilsner, and Quantum Shift, which is our flagship IPA. First beer we're going to taste today is Glass Castle. This is a traditional Czech-style Pilsner. We use a really unique technique to brew this beer. It's a decoction mash, which is a very traditional method. It's 5% ABV, and it is intended to be incredibly smooth and easy drinking. You'll find that it most likely has a little more body than a lighter Pilsner or maybe a German type. Really nice, warm, sort of bready notes, complemented by a herbal and almost spicy like hop aroma. This is actually my favorite beer. We brew this year round. This is meant for kind of all occasions, and a big focus for us is beers that complement both the season or the situation, and this is the one. Ultra versatile, works incredibly well under a lot of circumstances. Not too highly carbonated, so nice, easy, meant for drinking. It's a great complement to a lot of different types of food. Really just super versatile and meant to be kind of your everyday beer. All right, our next beer is Quantum Shift. This is our flagship East Coast IPA. Something that's super fun about Quantum Shift is we change up the dry hops every time we brew this beer. So the one I'm tasting right now is Quantum Shift 11. The one we'll be tasting tonight is Quantum 12. So you're gonna have some super fresh IPA in front of you. Quantum 12 is gonna be brewed with Amarillo, Idaho Gem, and Cascade. The interesting thing about Quantum Shift is that we keep the malt profile the same every time from batch to batch, but we give it different dry hops because we find that a lot of IPA drinkers, myself included, always are seeking new flavor experiences, and the aroma that comes off of this beer that's really explosive changes your perception of everything behind it. So even though the base beer itself stays very similar from batch to batch, the aroma impacts the way that you perceive the other flavors. And so with Quantum 12, you'll get a nice balance of both tropical fruit and piney, resiny aromatics. The other thing that I love about this beer is we try to incorporate some balance, because when you add a lot of hops, you need some malt character and some body to help serve as a canvas for those flavors to come through. So when you first smell it, you're gonna get a really nice big bouquet of tropical fruit and like kind of dank, piney, resiny hop character. And then when you go to sip it, you'll find that it's got like a nice balanced body to sort of add a little bit of mouthfeel and provide some supporting character for that. The other thing that I really like about this beer is it's an IPA, but it's 6.2%. And one of the reasons that we do that is because we like to drink beer a lot. And if it's 6.2, you can have a few more than if they were really high gravity. So this is definitely a favorite of ours. This is our classic pub glass. And yeah, thanks for trying Quantum Shift. We look forward to seeing you in the tap room sometime soon.
Thank you, Brett. We appreciate it. We appreciate all that information that you just shared with us in the video. Now, Brett's not with us tonight. Unfortunately, he had an issue at the last minute and he could not join us. But I'm going to let maybe one of our panelists here just, take a stab here. I know that maybe you're not the most versed to talk about beer, but if you can share some information, maybe Dave Zucchero, who's with us as well, on any kind of information that you can just share with us on beers would be greatly appreciated. So welcome.
Yeah, I think the Quantum Shift is great. I love IPA. What he said that was really great is it's not really high in alcohol. We have a situation in beers where they start to approach the alcohol level of wine. And wine you're only drinking 5 ounces, but beer you're drinking 12. So a 6.2% alcohol, that's great. I mean, you can drink all night. So I like that movement in the beer where we're backing off on the alcohol a little bit.
I've actually noticed when I've visited a couple of local places that if it exceeds a certain amount of alcohol, they serve less to kind of like control that. And so the first time it surprised me, quite honestly. I was like, we forget the rest of the beer, like what happened here, right? But no, it's drink responsibly, and I like that, as you said, that we can then have a little bit more and still be responsible and enjoy our beers and our wines in that way. So thank you, Dave.
It's interesting, they serve less and charge more.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. And I hear that oysters go well with beer. And our next demonstration is from Walrus Oyster and Ale House, where you will learn about oysters and shucking from executive chef Karen Jones.
Hello, my name is Corinne Jones, and I am the chef de cuisine here at Walrus in Columbia, and we're super excited to pair up today with Vino Scholastico, and we're going to be doing a quick tutorial on shucking oysters and learning a little bit more about that. So some of the things that you need, first off, is a vessel to put your oysters in, and obviously some ice would be great. We need a shucking knife, and the knife here that we're using today has a fine point, so it can go right into the oysters and pop the shell open. You always want a clean towel, and this is going to help grip the oysters so you don't slip and cut your finger. And also you have here a cutting glove. This is optional, but you can get this at your local restaurant store or order it on Amazon. And one of the most important things you look for when you're in the grocery store is the shellfish tag. This is the harvest date, and this is when it actually comes out of the water and it comes to us. So here at the Walrus, it's very important that we don't receive any oysters past 7 days. And as you see here, this shellfish tag came to us on the 25th. So it's very important to always have fresh oysters, and also check the date when you're doing shopping for oysters. So there are a couple of different ways that we serve our oysters here at the Walrus Oyster and Ale House. Traditionally, people are used to doing it on a half shell, but there are a couple of ways that you can do it. You can steam it. You also can fry the oysters, and you also can do a Rockefeller style. So I like to show you guys how we serve it here in Columbia at the Juarez Oyster and Ale House. This is our Rockefeller, and this is just one way that we serve our oysters. This is our signature appetizer, and what it is, it's a breadcrumbs and the oyster that we've shucked on the half shell, and we've toasted it in the oven and browned it to perfection and topped it off with a little bit of butter and spinach, and it's served with a toasted baguette. So this is a great way that you can serve the oyster if you really don't like to eat it on the half shell. So this is one way. One of our most popular items and one of our most popular appetizers is the deviled eggs. It's a traditional deviled egg filling, and as you can see, the oysters are fried and dredged in a little bit of breadcrumbs and topped off with a spicy mayo and a little bit of fresh chives. And this is our deviled eggs. So this is another option as opposed to eating it on the half shell. And we also have here our chef dozen. So the chef dozen consists of 12 different oysters from all 3 different varieties. You have a sweet, a briny, and also a salty. And this week we're featuring a sweet Jesus, and we're also featuring a local wow, and then the salty would be the salt shakers. We serve that with a house-made mignonette sauce, which has a little bit of wine and shallots, and also our homemade cocktail sauce with horseradish that we've actually shredded ourselves. And we make our own oyster crackers here as well. So everything here at the Walrus is fresh and made to order, and it is a scratch kitchen. So we're very proud of that here. So there are 3 different types of oysters, sweet, briny, and salty. And the sweet oysters are harvested and spawn in warm, cool water, allowing them to have a sweet finish from the beginning to the end. Our briny oyster that we're featuring today is a Blue Point, and it's out of Long Island, New York. And it is spawned in waters that have a little bit of salinity to them, meaning that it has a bite of salt. So when you eat it, you have a mild salt flavor, but it's also finished with a bit of saltiness. So when you eat it, there's a brininess and then a saltiness to finish it. The last variety of oysters are the salty oysters, and the one that we're featuring today is the salt shaker, and it's spawned in a large body of water that has typically a high salinity content to them. So when you eat the salty oyster, you have salt throughout from beginning to the end. So let's get to the fun part. We like to teach you guys how to open an oyster. The purpose of the towel is to hold the oyster, and it allows you to grip the oyster in place, because what you don't want to do is move it to where you could possibly cut your hand. So now I'll demo for you guys how to actually shuck the oyster. The first oyster that we'll be shucking is a Sweet Jesus. And as you can see here, where you insert your knife is right here where there's a small opening. The most important thing is you always want to make sure that your oyster is clean, so we always wash it off before we give it to our guest. What you want to do is take your knife and scrape it off the muscle, and then remove any type of shells that you may see before you actually present it on the plate. Second oyster we'll be shucking is a Blue Point. It has a little bit of a harder shell, but all oysters have that small opening where you're going to insert your knife. Once you find a little bit of resistance there with your knife, you're going to twist it a little bit and then pull your knife down, and then take the oyster away from the muscle. The last oyster is the salt shaker. Same idea. You're gonna feel a little bit of resistance with the knife, and you're gonna turn it until you feel the shell pop. And gently just move your knife down and remove the oyster from the mussel. It's really been a pleasure to support Howard Community College, and we hope we see you at the Walrus here in Columbia very soon. Thank you.
Thank you. What an informative and fascinating oyster demonstration. I didn't think that I could do it. Megan's here to answer some questions. And, the first question that we have here is, what is your personal favorite oyster?
So for me at the Walrus, we actually have our own house oyster that's harvested right out of the bay. It's harvested by Warshore Oyster Company, and we call it the Wally. So that's pretty cool because you can't get it anywhere else. I prefer a brinier oyster. I think my experience before I came to the Walrus was that I liked super, super salty, but now that I've tried all sorts, I really like something a little more middle of the road, not that full gulp of ocean water at the end. So those are probably, the Wally's probably my favorite because it's our house oyster and it is a brinier oyster.
Where do you guys come up with the names? Do you guys give the names to the oyster, like the Sweet Jesus and the Salt Shaker, or those names that you find anywhere in the market?
We don't. So Sweet Jesus, they have their own farm. So I'm trying to think of the other name, but it's kind of become a thing. Oysters really used to just be classified by region. And then there's like Sweet Jesus and a few other like really catchy popular names. There's Wild Ass Ponies from Chincoteague. And those farmers really kind of put those clever names for oysters on the map. And it's a huge selling point when there's something kind of funny associated with it. And we chose Wally just because it's we kind of slang walrus to Wally if you work there. So that was sort of our choice as a name. But it's usually, Blue Point has always been just out on Long Island Sound. So that's the Blue Point oyster. And then certain really stay regional, but a couple clever names can sell a couple dozen. So
I know I'll remember the Sweet Jesus and the Wally for sure. So thanks, Megan. I really appreciate it. And we're going to keep moving here with our event. And if you enjoy peaches, then you will love our next demonstration. Please watch Maria Bell from the Wine Bin make millions of peaches.
Hi everybody, it's Maria from the Wine Bin, broadcasting for you guys for the first ever virtual Vino Scholastico. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I also want to thank you guys for the opportunity for just having us here. We're super excited to help raise as much money as we can for our HCC students to get those scholarships that they absolutely need. So again, just thank you. So what I'm going to do for you today is actually walk you through one of my favorite cocktails. So I tasted Wild Roots vodka for the first time and really fell in love with it because they use all natural fruits. And most times when you get flavored vodkas, they kind of taste like artificial flavors. So trying that product just inspired me so much. And come on guys, it's peach season. So making this cocktail is just something that was super special to me. So I want to share that with you guys today. So what we need to do first is actually get our lemon. So your lemon is going to come whole. Okay, first thing you're gonna do is go ahead and get your garnish ready. So you're gonna take a nice big peel. Okay, that's a lemon peel. Let's set that aside. Then you're gonna take that whole lemon and cut it in half. And so with TV Magic, I've already gotten that done. So we're gonna go ahead and juice these lemons. Okay, 1, 2. Now the juice from 1 lemon should give you about 1.5 ounces, which is perfect for 2 cocktails. Okay, so there I measure my lemon juice, put it into my shaker tin, and then I'm going to use my packets of sugar. So I don't particularly love a super sweet cocktail, so I only use 2 packets per cocktail. But if you really like a sweeter drink, use 3. You'll have enough to do 2 or 3 in your kit. I'm going to go ahead and start stirring. The goal here is to dissolve the sugar. Okay. Now I'm going to add my peach liqueur. So that's 3/4 ounce. Ooh. And then finally adding the piece de resistance, the Wild Roots Peach Vodka. 1.5 ounces of that. Okay. Some ice. And then we're going to shake it. Now when you shake, I want you to really shake it. Smells beautiful. Okay, and now for my garnish, so we remember our nice little lemon peel. I'm gonna put that on the side, and a slice of peach, why not? All right, guys, that's it. So I hope you enjoy this cocktail. One of my favorite things actually about working here at the Wine Bin is the teaching aspect. So we're actually going to be launching our cocktail classes virtually. So very much like this, if you had a good time, which I hope you all did, you're more than welcome to join us whenever we go virtual, and we'll get a kit put together for you with everything that you need apart from your equipment for you to make some awesome cocktails and learn and explore more during this crazy time. So please, guys, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and check our website periodically to see what kind of new antics Dave and I are coming up with. Because again, we're just trying to make sure that everybody comes through this thing happy and healthy. Happy drinking, guys. Cheers.
Maria, that looks really refreshing and really delicious, and I personally love peaches. And you know, there's another great way for everybody to support student scholarships tonight, and that's through the Vino Black Bag Drawing. There are only 16 still available, so make sure you go after this event to howardcc.edu/virtualvino and click on Vino Black Bag. Besides picking up your bottle of wine at the Wine Bin, everyone that purchases a Vino Black Bag will be entered to win additional prizes that will be drawn on Monday and will be mailed to our winners. You can check out all of the prizes on your placemat. There's some really great prizes, so I really encourage everybody to take advantage of this opportunity. Thank you to the Wine Bin and ProStatus Financial Services for sponsoring the Vino Black Bag drawing, and thank you to everyone that has already purchased your Vino Black Bag. I really have a question that's just, I saw that Facebook post on there. It looked like you had a wine of glass, like a, you know, so like a glass holding, somebody was behind you. What was going on there, Maria? What was happening there?
The one where I was kind of like going into the sea.
Yeah.
Okay, so that, so we've been trying to look up like what the national day was, and that particular day was National Titanic Day. It was also National Haiku Day and National like Red Wine Day or something like that, or Malbec Day or something like that. So we decided to combine all three and do this very much like Titanic, like never let go, you know, on the bow of the Titanic kind of thing. My boss and I have been trying to come up with the most outrageous Facebook posts to keep people sane through these crazy times.
You're the king of Facebook. There you go. I like that. So somebody's asking, what about a splash of club soda here?
Okay, so splash of club soda in this cocktail would not hurt it one bit. If anything, it would just kind of dilute the sweetness that would be here and dilute that peach flavor. So I like to kind of concentrate that peach flavor, especially like, again, for me, like the late summer, like going through a peach orchard and grabbing a peach off of a tree. This, to me, this cocktail is kind of like biting into that juicy peach. So I prefer that, but by all means necessary. During the hotter July, you know, June months, add, you know, some in a nice tall highball glass, some ice with that. some club soda. I mean, even a little mint if you're feeling froggy to have it be even more refreshing. You know, the sky's the limit. With cocktails, we can play around and find things that are just innovative.
Now, 1 or 2 of the vodka bottles and the whole liquor is another question.
So if you're making one cocktail, just use 1 of the bottles. So I made 2 cocktails because my boss is around here asking where his cocktail is. I'm shocked he hasn't taken it from me, actually. But so if you're making 1 cocktail, just 1 bottle of the Wild Roots vodka and half of that peach schnapps. Otherwise, if you're making 2 cocktails, so cocktails for a couple, then you'll use both bottles of vodka and the full bottle of the peach schnapps.
It looks like everybody's loving the cocktail and everybody wants the recipe for it. So how can they connect with you? And also to get more information on the cocktail classes, how can they connect and, just stay in touch with that?
We highlight all of that information for the classes on our website, as well as you'll see blasts coming through our Facebook page. I mean, we just try to make it fun and interesting. I mean, again, nobody thought Vino Scholastico was going to be all virtual, but here we are having a great time, right? Enjoying fantastic wine, fantastic beers, and fantastic cocktails. So, that being said, checking out the Facebook, checking out the website, that's going to be the best way to contact with us. For the recipe, I can 100% provide it in the chat, but I can also tell you now, get your pens ready. It's going to be 1.5 ounces of peach vodka. Again, I recommend Wild Roots because it's one of the best, guys. Then you're going to use 3/4 ounces of peach schnapps. So really it can be any peach schnapps or peach liqueur. Then you're going to add 3/4 ounces of lemon juice, and then about 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, or about 2 sugar packets. Okay.
And like Maria said earlier, you can even experiment a little bit with it, add or take away. I would say maybe 1 item or 2 here and there, depending on your own taste, right? And I don't know, I mean, maybe you come up with something, you can just then connect with Maria and give her that recipe. Is that right, Maria?
Absolutely. Hey, don't threaten me with a good time.
I don't have to tell you twice. I can see that. Thanks so much for all that information. Thanks. It really looks delicious. It looks like a great summer cocktail. Our final restaurant demonstration is by Adam Harper, the executive chef at Iron Bridge Wine Company.
Hey, how we doing? My name is Adam Harper. I'm the executive chef here at the Iron Bridge Wine Company in Columbia, Maryland. We're ecstatic to be supporting Howard Community College and Vino Scholastico. Today I'll be showing you one of our featured dish on the menu right now is a pan-seared local rockfish with charred asparagus, a lemon-scented Israeli couscous, and a caper butter on top of it. Starting off first, we'll work with our couscous. First, you want to get 1 1/4 cups of water boiling and just pour this guy right into the pot. Cook it till it's al dente, so it has a little bite to it still. You're going to shock that immediately in an ice bath so it doesn't overcook and it gets mushy and mealy and stuff like that. And then once that's all cooled, drain it out of the water, and then you're going to toss it with a little bit of our grated lemon zest. And once that's done, you'll just put that off to the side. Next, we'll start with our asparagus. So you want to take it and you want to take off probably about 2 to 2.5 inches of the bottom, because it gets very fibery and it's not very good to eat. Now we'll head over to the stovetop and start cooking. To start off, you want to get your saute pan on the burner and crank on the heat and get it piping hot, so you'll start to see some smoke coming off of it. That's when you know it's ready to go. For the Israeli couscous, I like to pick it up with our house-made AP butter, which is just garlic butter at the end of the day. That and a little white wine. And of course, always salt and pepper. Toss that together, throw that back on. Again with the asparagus, salt and pepper, a little bit of our AP butter, and white wine again. And since the couscous is already cooked, you're basically just heating it up. Once that butter melts, you take it off the heat and just let it sit. We have our beautiful piece of rockfish, which is we get locally from the Chesapeake Bay. I like to salt both sides. And once the butter starts to melt in the couscous, you'll see it starts to get the creaminess from the butter. That's exactly what you're looking for. Add a little oil to your pan for the rockfish. Then you're gonna place your rockfish right in the pan, skin side down. Grab a fish spatula. Press it a little bit. And we're gonna let that hang out there for probably a good 2 to 3 minutes. You'll start to see a golden brown around the bottom right there. That's when you know it'll be ready to flip. Now you can see you're starting to get your golden brown down on the edges. That's exactly what you're looking for. Again, nice little press to make sure you get that consistent crispy skin on it. That's done. Flip that guy over. And you can also just throw it in the oven to finish it if you prefer to cook it that way as well. And once you flip it over on the flesh side, you're gonna let it sit for probably about 3 to 3.5 minutes. And then you'll see the translucentness of the flesh. It'll start to turn that nice, bright, flaky white color again. And we're starting to get there now. So I always like to take it off to the heat. Again, take some of our house-made garlic butter. And if you ever ate with us, this is why our food's so good. All the butter we use. Then I like to baste the fish with the butter so you get that nice savoriness over top of the fish. That's exactly what you're looking for, those nice little foamy bubbles from the hot pan in the butter. And we'll just let the fish hang out right there for a second. Okay, now we're ready to plate, guys. So first we're gonna take our lemon-scented Israeli couscous. Down on the plate first. Then our nice asparagus that's seasoned perfectly. Our lovely rockfish. And then to finish, we'll take our caper butter. A little dollop of caper butter right on top. And that is the finished product. You can pair this with any nice crisp white wine. Seafood and white wines go hand in hand, in my opinion. As Steve Wecker would always say, nothing better than a nice buttery oaky Chardonnay. Hope to see you guys soon. We're here 7 days a week, Sunday through Thursday, 3 to 9, and Sunday 12 to 9, Friday and Saturday 12 to 10.
That looks really, really good. It makes me really, really hungry too. It's dinner time for me. And you know, it's funny, he said that you want to put it golden brown. Usually when I cook, my things look a little more dark chocolate kind of thing. And that's why I'm sitting here and not in the kitchen anywhere out there. But I actually want to hear from our panelists, and I'd like to hear from everybody. We've heard a lot about summer drinks and things that are good for the summer. But as we look into transitioning into the new season of fall, I'd like to hear, and I'll go on, in order as I see you guys on my screen, your favorite drink for the fall as we're looking into a new season. So Dave, let's start with you.
Sure. So going into the fall, we've been drinking Sauvignon Blancs in the summer, and everybody's drinking rosé, right? But as we get into the fall, we want to get, we start to get looking for something a little bit deeper, richer. The chef just said for that dish in the white wines, an oaky buttery Chardonnay is beautiful to go with that fish, and also is a little bit bigger, a little bit rounder. But I think everybody's thoughts start turning to red wines. And I mean, for the fall, any red wine, we do just about everything, but we start to get back to our big Chardonnays, our big Cabernets is what I'm looking forward to getting really back to.
Maria, what are you looking forward to in the fall?
So I actually teach adjunct at HCC. So I'm kind of looking forward to just seeing how my students react to just this online environment. For me, I'm so used to being hands-on and personal, even with my, kind of what I call boring lecture classes. So I'm teaching culinary nutrition, which is not like a specifically interesting class, but I'm trying to find innovative ways to make sure that the material connects with them in a real world sense, and that they connect with each other. So that's one thing I'm actually looking forward to. The other is, kind of seeing how we can somehow feel connected as people right now with the holidays coming up, and finding innovative ways to just, again, bring us all together when we can't necessarily be together. So I'm actually looking forward to that challenge.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the holidays. What would be a good holiday drink? What's maybe your favorite holiday drink?
Oh my God, I have so many. So first and foremost would be this pumpkin martini, and I don't usually love martinis, but we get in only one time a year. We get this organic pumpkin vodka, and it makes a delicious pumpkin martini that's not too sweet, it's not too cloying, it's not creamy, it's not too much of one thing, it's just perfect. So that for sure. And then second would be a nice red wine, actually, with my Thanksgiving meal. A lot of people tend to shy away from red wine for Thanksgiving meals, but I go for either a Pinot Noir or a nice Cru Beaujolais, and I feel like it's the best crowd pleaser. So that's definitely what I'm looking more forward to, the drinks than anything.
Thanks, Maria. David, what do we go to in the fall through Santa Julia? What are our choices?
Oh man, for Santa Julia, you know what I love? We actually make a Tempranillo under the Organica label also, right? So Tempranillo is just a really good fruit forward. It's cherry flavored. It has some earthy flavors. It reminds you of like fall and the leaves, and the crushed leaves on the forest floor in the fall. And it's such a good food-friendly wine. Also the rosé, rosé being from Malbec, it has a little bit more of a deeper flavor than the brighter flavors that you might find from a summer style of rosé. In addition to that, in our Reserva label, Santa Julia Reserva, we have a mountain blend, which is Malbec and Cabernet Franc, which is just lights out, outstanding. You get nice fruit notes, low tannin from the Malbec, and a little bit more structure you get from the Cabernet Franc. And it's really beautiful and really crowd-friendly, table-friendly.
And Megan, what can you tell us about the Walrus in the fall? Do you guys keep the same, your menu is the same? Do you guys have different oysters coming in, or different things that we can look forward to?
So we right now are developing a lot of our fall menu, but something that always resurfaces around this time of year is our house old fashioned. So Catoctin Creek actually makes a special barreled rye for us. It's a maple cask. So getting those sweeter maple notes definitely flows into the fall very nicely. And we make a house old fashioned and we make a house sour with those. Two of my favorite drinks. And if you're not into ryes or bourbons, it's a very approachable way to get started because it just has that extra sweetness on the front. So all about the Catoctin rye.
So we've enjoyed, all of the summery drinks, and as you can see, there's a lot more coming in the fall. So definitely check out all of our sponsors tonight, all of our presenters tonight. They will have something for you in this upcoming season. And now a special thank you from Vino Scholastico Committee Chair Mark Callahan.
I'd like to first thank everyone that participated in the event tonight. Who would have thought 6 months ago that we wouldn't be able to get together at the college? And at least we've been able to do this virtually, which is great. I'd also like to thank the wonderful committee that helped put this together. We all kind of learned Zoom together, and through some cancellation, rescheduling, but we've got this event to go, and it's been a wonderful event. Thank you. I'd also like to thank Eric Stein, who was on the committee for years together as co-chairs. He retired this year, and he was a big part of what this event has always turned out to be. I'd also like to thank the sponsors. Without them, we would not be able to raise the scholarship funds that we do. Please recognize those are on the back of your placard there. We hope everyone had a wonderful time enjoying the spirits, the wine, and the beer from our panelists who have brought their expertise throughout the evening to help us all learn a little bit. And then finally, I'd like to thank the HCC studio for this wonderful production. We will have this event next year. The date is May 21st. We look forward to seeing everyone there. So we would like to raise a glass to raise the scholarship. Thank you very much.
So everybody mark your calendars, May 21st. We hope to see you. Hopefully we'll be together then. Thank you, Mark, for your leadership during these challenging times. And thank you for zooming through all of this time and all of this virtual world. And as you know, proceeds from this event support student scholarships. And we thought you'd enjoy hearing firsthand how scholarships impact our students' success.
Thanks to the scholarships I received from donors, I was able to take all the classes I wanted, taking maybe more credits than a traditional student, and also being able to be involved on campus.
I was, working a lot. When I first started school, I was working 40 hours a week and also going full-time just to be able to pay what was left after my financial aid and the money that I already had for school. Getting a scholarship really made me able to just work one job instead of two.
The HCC scholarship really helped me because I'm a nursing student and I've been working about 30 hours a week. And I've also been using student loans to pay for most of my classes. So receiving that scholarship actually allowed me to take an extra anatomy class that allowed me to complete my prerequisites for nursing faster. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without that scholarship.
As a graphic design major, paying for art supplies is very expensive. Thank you so much for donating to HCC's scholarships. As an art major, it's really made a difference in my college career.
I know firsthand the difference that your generosity makes. I received a number of scholarships and grants throughout my school career, and just like the testimonials that we just watched, knowing that there are people out there who care enough about education and the power that education has to move our world forward inspire me to work harder and achieve my goals. I was a non-traditional student in many ways. I was an immigrant, I was married, I was a mother of two, and I was working full-time by the time I decided to take my education farther. I knew that education held the key to a better future for me and my family, but I personally wasn't sure at the time that I could afford it. So, if through events like this and generous people like yourself, I was able to graduate from HCC with 2 degrees and move on to a 4-year school and complete my bachelor's. So in our students' behalf and on behalf of everyone at Howard Community College and the Educational Foundation, we give you our most sincere thanks. And I think this is a great time to share that. As you heard Kate said at the beginning of our event, we had an ambitious goal of $85,000, raising $85,000 tonight. but you proved to us again how fortunate we are to be part of a community that is so caring and so giving. And it is my great honor to let you all know that not only we achieved our goal, but we've actually raised over $102,000 and that are going to go directly to impact and making a difference in the lives of our HCC students. So again, thank you for your kindness, your compassion, and your generosity. And with that, we have reached the end of our event tonight. I hope that you have enjoyed our first virtual Vino Scholastico. It has been my pleasure and my honor to moderate this evening for you. I have loved keeping you company, talking to your different presenters. I hope that you have enjoyed our conversations and that we answer all of your questions. Please take a moment to recognize our sponsors for their support of student success at Howard Community College, where you can get there from here through the support of events like Vino Scholastico, where when you raise a glass, you raise a scholarship. Thank you, everybody, and have a good evening.